Hey everybody, welcome to More Reviews, and I'm Andrew Moore. Today we're going to be talking about Deepwater Horizon. Deepwater Horizon is the latest based on a true story disaster collaboration from director Peter Berg and Mark Wahlberg. This film takes place entirely on April 20th of 2010, in which the offshore drilling rig Deepwater Horizon exploded and caused the biggest oil spill in US history. So when I first saw the preview for this movie, I have to say that my expectations were not very high. This comes across like your typical, let's give you a bunch of characters that we're going to manipulate and make you feel very strong for, and then we're going to send them off to basically die. Also, when watching the trailer, it felt as if they were basically taking, this very serious thing that happened and just turning it into a Mark Wahlberg action movie. And I mean, that's pretty much what they did, but I have to say they did it very, very well. Now, when they start this movie out, right out of the gate, they have to, build the characters. They have to give you a reason to care for these people that ultimately are, going into this, impending doom that you, as a viewer, already know about because you know the story. And I have to say, I thought they did this very, very well. And instead of us getting, 5, 6, 7 different stories of different characters, saying goodbye to their families and just, so-and-so has, pregnant wife or, this guy's kid has a disability, there's none of that. You basically just get one really not so great scene featuring, Gina Rodriguez, which I'll talk about later, and then one really good scene featuring, Mark Wahlberg's character and his family. This scene with him, Kate Hudson, and their daughter perfectly captures everything you need to do. It's short, it makes us like the characters, it makes us laugh. His daughter's adorable, him and Kate Hudson, they have good chemistry, and then it's done, it's gone, and then we're off, he's getting dropped off, and now we're starting to get to the actual movie. I really enjoyed that. When Kate Hudson's character drives, Mark Wahlberg up to the airport and drops him off to, go off to Deepwater Horizon, I really love how that scene was handled. There is no big, oh baby, I can't wait to see you. I know you're gonna come back, I just know you are. Yeah, baby, I gotta come back to you and our daughter. I'm gonna fight for you. There's none of that stupid crap. It was literally just her being like, alright baby, see you later. And he's like, alright, I love you. It's because that's how it would normally be. They don't know they're going to off to blow up. That's not the plan. These people do this all the time. This is their job. In so many other movies, you get scenes like this where it's like the characters already know that something bad is about to happen. And I just really like how they handled that. So once we're on the rig and we're walking around and we're meeting a bunch of different characters, I really enjoyed a lot of the smaller cast here. I thought Ethan Suplee and Dylan O'Brien were both great in just small parts, and just being able to, be funny and also seem like they actually know what their character is doing. Then there's Mr. Jimmy. Kurt Russell was awesome in this movie as Mr. Jimmy. He was definitely, the best character in the whole movie. I love how once you meet Mr. Jimmy, you just instantly know, he's in control of everything. And other than a couple moments near the end, he refrains from being too over the top and just building himself into a caricature. He just seems like a regular guy who just knows what he's doing. People respect him, and he respects them. Once the action finally starts happening, I have to say that this thing was so well done. even more so than the first part, because, which, I mean, you probably knew going into this movie. You probably thought the first part would just be whatever until you're trying to get to the action, which is handled very well. As little things start happening and the tension starts building, it is done very well. You're on the edge of your seat the whole time. The fact that you know what's going to happen never takes away from the intensity of every moment building up to the eventual explosion. Now, there were things I did not like about this movie. There were two characters in particular that I didn't really care for how they were handled up. First, Gina Rodriguez, I thought they just could have done so much more with her. When you start off, you get this dumb little scene, that you expect in a movie like this, which, I will say that's a testament to how good this movie is that when you see a scene that's typical of these kinds of movies, you're kind of surprised. You're like, man, that shit sucks. Like, that's stupid. But, like, it kind of brings you back down to earth as to, like, what you're watching. In this scene, it's real short. Her car doesn't start, and then she has to, ride with her boyfriend to work, and he just makes kind of like a smart ass comment about how, like, she's not, I guess you're getting the sense that, like, he thinks she's not like a strong woman. But then she gets on the rig, and she seems cool. Like, I feel like they're gonna do some cool stuff with her character. She has a little conversation with this one guy who you'd think there's gonna be something cool there, and as far as I remember, you never see that dude again. And then as the story progresses, they totally just kind of turn her into, like, just, like, she just doesn't add much to the story. And there were moments where you felt like, yeah, she was on point, what she needed to do, and I really liked how she wanted to make certain decisions at a certain time. But then at the very end, I just really didn't like how, I guess, all right, spoiler alert. I don't really think it matters, but this is a spoiler. At the end, I did not like how Mark Wahlberg needed to save her. I just didn't find it necessary. I didn't find it fitting with what I thought they wanted to do with her character. Like, she seemed like, a badass chick. Like, she was strong. Like, why did that need to happen? I just didn't like it. The other character that I did not really care for was John Malkovich and his ridiculous accent. Now, I will say his accent was fun to listen to. I was laughing. As soon as I got in the car on the way home, I was instantly talking like him. Listen here, Mrs. Jimmy. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna have to run this oil. If you don't see oil coming up out of that hole, well, then guess what? We're going to have to put a tail on that rooster and call it a day. It was funny, but it took me completely out of his scenes. He just turned basically into a cartoon character, and it didn't fit. Much of the rest of the story was very serious, and it had a serious tone, and then you just get this straight up comic book villain kind of to embody something that needed to be handled with a little bit more care. And that gets into my last, biggest complaint, which, again, I'm not going to fault this movie too much because it was a very entertaining, good, solid action movie that did make me care about the characters. And I thought it did a very good job at the end to honor the actual people who did die in this accident. I think that no one who, was involved or families would really be offended by the way people are portrayed. Everyone is shown in a respectful way, and I do think, yes, they did a nice send-off at the end. However, it is tough with a movie like this because, this was a really big deal. Like, this was the biggest oil spill in history, and they really talk about that, like, not at all. Like, it's not hardly mentioned other than, like, a little line at the end of the movie across a black screen. And, also, like, the people who led to this happening, the greed behind BP And all of this, you know, was just, yeah, boiled down into this one ridiculous character played by John Malkovich. That being said, even though I wanted them to, you know, try to say a little bit more with the screen time that they had, I did still really enjoy the movie. I thought it was, you know, incredibly fun to watch from beginning to end. I was on the edge of my seat. I don't think anything was really, you know, handled in a way that was very disrespectful, other than maybe just excluding, you know, certain things that could have, you know, bashed on these BP, you know, guys a little bit more. But other than that, it really surprised me. I enjoyed the movie a lot, and I recommend you see it. I'm giving Deepwater Horizon 4 out of 5 stars. So guys, did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let me know down in the comments, and then please do subscribe. We got a lot more stuff coming up on More.